We are running a little late, so off we go. It's the Ryan Hartson Show on the BWC Network. I am Ryan Hartson, as we will attempt to break down the entire National Football League in less than 15 minutes. But we begin with breaking news. This is literally just across the wire. Tony Romo played the majority when he came back in the game, played the majority of the game, overtime win, epic comeback against the San Francisco 49ers with a punctured lung. This is massive news. Punctured lungs are really, really bad. That is serious, serious stuff. And the fact that he was able to play through a football game with a punctured lung is absolutely unbelievable and is fascinating. And it just really shows his toughness. And I was going to open the show with some other stuff, but I might as well start with Romo. I wrote down 18 things about the NFL, okay? And I'm going to go through all of them, and I was going to go through all of them in order. But people really kind of freaked out about Tony Romo when he lost that game to the Jets. And I said this last week. That football game was just a couple of good teams going at it. There is nothing wrong with what happened in that football game. I don't have a problem. Well, Romo's pick was bad. It wasn't like the worst thing he's ever done. He's made some mistakes before. He'll make mistakes. He'll make some mistakes again. But he, most of the time, has been spectacular. He is one of the 8 to 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm not going to knock him for his lack of playoff wins. That team has been shaky at times. He has been a little shaky at times. He is still one of the 8 to 10 best quarterbacks in the game. And, wow. Playing with a punctured lung. That is the definition of toughness. And I'm just reacting to this right now. I just saw this come across. What a spectacular performance for Tony Romo. A punctured lung. Hopefully, he will be okay. Because punctured lungs are, like, life-threatening. So we hope Tony Romo is okay, and everybody here at BWC wishes him the best going forward. But as I said, we're going to try to break down the entire NFL in less than 15 minutes. Let's start off with my 18 things. Buffalo Bills are not for real. Oh my God, have you heard it today? Oh my God, the Bills are like the best team. Oh my God, they're unbelievable and they're totally for real. They're going to the playoffs. No, they're not. They're not going anywhere. Look at who they played. They played a bad Oakland team, an Oakland team we knew was bad, and they blew out Kansas City. Kansas City, who's probably going to win the Andrew Luck lottery. You play bad football teams. I mean, Buffalo's not for real. They've been playing awful teams. And now, guess who they cut coming in next week? New England. You think Brady and Belichick's going to have something to say about that? Please. The Bills are not for it. Let's get off this. This is early season surprise is a facade. It's an illusion. They're going to be, 8-8 at best. And probably worse. Wait until their schedule gets tougher. Moving on. Another surprise team, the Detroit Lions. Totally for real. I am buying in, because when you beat a team that is arguably equally as talented as you in Tampa Bay, a close game, on the road, tough game, Stafford's been brilliant, and then you make Kansas City look probably infinitely worse than they maybe actually are. 48 points, Calvin Johnson looks sharp, Matthew Stafford looks like a beast. They look like a team on the rise. Similar to Buffalo, though, wait till they start playing big boys. We'll see how good they are against Green Bay and New Orleans. Both teams, by the way, on their schedule. Green Bay is on the schedule twice. The Pittsburgh Steelers, moving on, looked good, not great, in a blowout of Seattle. They still don't look like the defending AFC champs to me. To me, it still looks like they're a 500 team. They're old. Their age is catching up with them, and it looks to me like they will be missing the playoffs this year. Now, that's just me. That defense is too old. That offensive line is still bad. We'll see if Roethlisberger can pull a few games out. If he can, of course, they have a chance because he is a great quarterback. Moving on. I'm going to tell myself something along with the rest of the mainstream media, my friends in the mainstream media. Bring in the reins on the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody take a deep breath. Relax on Baltimore. They're a very good football team, but they have similar problems to Pittsburgh. That defense is aging, the offensive line is shaky, and they have one other question mark. What's Flacco going to do on a weekly basis? He comes out and laid a total egg in this game after told everyone he took the next step into that elite stratosphere. Bring in the reins, Hartson. I was wrong. I don't know what they're going to be. They are on my list for the wait and see teams. Moving on again. The Carolina Panthers are going to have something to say about the NFC South. They made the Green Bay Packers sweat for 4 quarters. In a side note, Green Bay played awful yesterday. They played the worst game they've played in probably a calendar year. And Aaron Rodgers throws for 300 yards, and they still score 30 points. When they are in sync, when things are going well, they're arguably the best team in the league. I've never seen a team play this bad and still score 30 points. It was unbelievable to me. So the champs playing like champs. The Panthers not playing like chumps. They look good. Cam Newton looks like the real deal. Looks like a really good quarterback. I was wrong about him. He's going to continue to make rookie mistakes. Are the Panthers going to be in it? No. But are they going to make other teams work really hard to get wins in that division? Absolutely. Cam Newton, a legitimate threat, will at least make it harder for teams to win games than previously forecasted. Moving on, the Atlanta Falcons offense is at times unwatchable. There are some periods in their offense where they cannot move the ball for a damn, where Matt Ryan is confused, where he can't make certain throws. There are things about Matt Ryan that do not sit well with me. Now, he comes back in the fourth quarter and they win the football game. That was great. Let me say, that was the worst 4-touchdown performance I've ever seen by a quarterback. When you're throwing 4 touchdowns, you're supposed to be hot. He wasn't hot. He was average. Just in the red zone, they threw the football. It was shocking to me. He had a 4-touchdown game. He threw for like 160 yards or something. A couple of picks. He had a bad game. 4 touchdowns, though. That's what everybody looks at. Matt Ryan is unbelievable. Look at the numbers and calm down. Mike Vick, we don't know if he's going to be in. We don't know if he's going to be out next week. It was a concussion. He bit his tongue. Blood all over the place. Nasty injury. Ran into his own player. That's unfortunate. I question his ability. He was missing throws. He wasn't making some plays. He missed some easy throws. He was inaccurate. He fumbled. Stupid mistakes, turnovers, missing reads. Same old Michael Vick. I've been saying it forever, guys. This is the same old Michael Vick. There is no Michael Vick 2.0. It's all a fallacy. It's the same guy. Andy Reid is just putting him in a little different position. Moving on again, the Chicago Bears are good, not great. The offensive line is bad. Their receivers are a joke. And the defense is going to be good. That game against Green Bay is going to be really interesting. It might not be telling, but it will be interesting. The Saints are the best team in the NFC. Drew Brees, great receivers. Offensive line is great. They can get after the quarterback. The defense is solid. Their secondary is a little questionable, but I think Jonathan Vilma makes up for that. Saints in good shape to be the Super Bowl representative out of the NFC. The Patriots are the best team in the league, although similar to Green Bay. I question their defense. How is Green Bay and New England remind me a lot of each other? How are these teams going to react? How are they going to play when they're down? Brady and Rodgers are going to have to consistently make all kinds of plays. Are they going to be able to make them? And, of course, they will because these two guys are MVP candidates. But their defenses, I do question. Their defenses are going to lose games more often than their offense did. Phillip Rivers had a field day despite throwing a couple of picks. San Diego kind of ran over itself, which is why they lost that football game. That wasn't anything New England did spectacularly. But Brady is still the best quarterback, still the best player in the NFL. All right, I still have questions about Mark Sanchez. Last week he played a great game. This week he missed some throws, threw a couple of picks, and he did it against Jacksonville, which is kind of strange because they're not that good. So Sanchez has to continue to work, has to continue to develop. I believe he looks better than he did last year. Will he look that good all year? I have no idea. And in the same breath, the New York Jets will challenge for that division. To me, they are considerably better than expected. That defense is still unbelievable. Rex Ryan hasn't torn apart the locker room from the inside out yet. I'm still waiting for it because similar to Ozzie Guillen, eventually your personality blows stuff up. Ozzie Guillen's probably going to lose his job. in Chicago with the White Sox, and I expect the same thing to happen with Rex Ryan. It's still working this year. Will it work later this year? Will it work years down the road? Those are more questions. For now, the Jets have as good a chance to win the division as New England does. We already spoke on Tony Romo. However, people did freak out last week about that terrible throw at the end. Oh, Tony Romo's overrated. He's terrible. All of a sudden, we just keep taking these shots at Tony Romo. Dude, calm down. Everyone just needs to relax about Romo. Romo's a fine quarterback, and he can win a Super Bowl. I still think the Cowboys are going to come out of the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. That's how I picked it before the season. He's a spectacular talent. That defense is great. The Cowboys are going places this year, unless that punctured lung causes Romo to miss some games, and then all of a sudden all that goes out the window. Punctured lung. That sucks. That's terrible. We feel bad. Moving on, the Texans, I'm still waiting to see on. Yeah, they had a pretty easy time, 23-13 against Miami. Probably a little harder time than people expected. Andre Johnson looks good. Arian Foster may have re-injured his hamstring. We have no idea about that. Schaub looks all right. The Dolphins are a little better than people thought, but they're still awful. But the Texans, I'm still waiting. When they play a great football team, how do they play? And we will see that in the coming weeks. Still wait and see on Houston. The Raiders might be a playoff team, but that schedule is really weak. You take care of Denver in Denver, and then you go to Buffalo and you win, in my opinion, the most entertaining game of the weekend, college or pro. Spectacular football game was played between a couple of bad teams. Oakland lost it barely. How good are the Raiders? I have no idea. They are one of my wait-and-see teams, kind of. They're not on the list. But, they can run the ball. They do a lot of good things I like. They don't make too many mistakes. I like them better than Buffalo, to be honest with you. And Buffalo won the game yesterday. So, what do I know? San Diego made far too many mistakes to be a Super Bowl contender until they clean those up. Until Norv Turner starts to become a good head coach, I'm not buying it. Phillip Rivers is a great, great quarterback. Norv Turner continues to put him in bad situations. Chargers, they have to get better fast. And if they keep making those stupid mistakes, they will lose games in the playoffs. They're probably going to win the division. But that's because, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. Of course they're going to win that division. Speaking of the Chiefs, they are the worst team in the league. God awful. Matt Castle looks terrible. Terrible pass rush. There's just nothing there. No Eric Berry on the back end. They're just screwed. Chiefs are done. You give up back-to-back 40-point games. That's it. Last but not least, there is a list of teams I need to see more from until I can consider anything, really. San Francisco looks okay. They run the ball. They play okay defense. Alex Smith is going to blow it up eventually. But I'm curious about San Francisco because they do look a little better than I thought they would. Baltimore need to see more from. Is that defense going to affect them? How's that offensive line going to be? Are they too old? Is Joe Flacco good enough to make them go where I would like to see them? Baltimore, a good football team. How good are they, Willie? The defending champion Green Bay Packers are on this list. Here's why. The offense is phenomenal, as usual. The defense I have questions about. You give up back-to-back 400-yard games. One is Breeze, and I can give up Breeze. Breeze is fine. But Cam Newton, you let Cam Newton do that to you. A rookie, you made some all right plays. You have to work harder on stopping them before they get to the red zone. They're doing a good job in the red zone. They just have to stop them from getting there all the time. Cam Newton spent way too much time in Green Bay territory yesterday. The Panthers looked all right, but the Packers defense really, really worried about. And they'll have a lot of ways to get healthy against that Bears offensive line next week. Just saying. The Bears are also on this list. They're a good team. Can Cutler put it together? Is this offensive line ever going to play well? How good is this team, really? This team, the Bears, for like the fourth year in a row, are the biggest head scratcher in the NFL. I just don't know what they are. And they just play ugly. It's nasty. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. They're just strange. The Steelers I need to see more from. Is that defense too old? How's that offensive line? We know Ben's going to be Ben. Really just the defense and the offensive line. What are we going to see from them? And, the Steelers, I'm gonna question the Steelers all year until they show me. This is a show-me league. You have to show me. And we will wrap up with the Houston Texans. They've collapsed so many times before. Are they going to collapse again? I have questions. That's under 15 minutes. It's the BWC Network.